Welcome back to TJ's Modeling Bench. This is the MPC 67 Pontiac GTO that I'll be building for the group challenge build on the Luka Facebook page. If you're not a part of that, go check it out. He's got his YouTube channel, Luka and Facebook page. Anyway, I have already opened this box. I've cleaned the parts, separated them, and started to assemble the engine. I'm leaving it stock. I'm not going to do anything real special on it because it is a bit of a challenging kit. My understanding is there are some serious fit issues, and honestly, so far just putting the engine together, that seems to be very true. It's not molded real well. I mean, these are old molds, so there's a lot of flash. There's gaps that need to be filled, and I'll show you here in a second what I've got so far. All right, so the engine, like I said, I'm keeping it stock. I thought about maybe going aftermarket with a 3D printed or resin engine, but I just don't feel like this kit's really worth all that extra money, really. So I'm just going to keep it stock, but hopefully you can see this. There's a fairly large gap there between the intake manifold and the block. The heads, there's a gap in there between the intake manifold and the heads. The transmission housing, I mean, that's just horrible, really. And it doesn't even, I don't think the shape is even near correct. It's just not good. Not good at all. Anyway, I'm gonna sand it. I'm gonna fill some areas. I don't have any of the water pump or hose or pulleys or anything on there yet. That will get added, obviously. But anyway, that's where we're at the moment. All right, I'm going to mix up a little bit of this Tamiya polyester putty to fill some of these gaps. I've never used this before. I've seen it used. That's what it is. It's a two-part. So you put an equal amount of this, I'm assuming, is the hardener. Let's see. That almost seems too yellow. I guess we'll find out. Let's see. Kind of looks like mustard. And it's rather pungent. It's got a bit of a strong chemical smell to it. I don't know if I'm actually going to fill those in or not. I am going to do... So, since I don't have the valve covers on here, I think I'm just going to leave that the way it is, even though there's a bit of a step between the intake manifold and that head. I think the valve covers will hide that a little better, so I'm not going to mess with that. But I don't like this gap in the transmission to the bell housing. I'm not a huge car guy. I'm not completely uneducated, but I just don't think this looks right with this big gap. So that's what I'm attempting to correct. Now, we'll let this cure for about an hour, and then I should be able to sand or shape it with an X-Acto knife. Let's get everything filled in first. All right, that's better. We'll see what we end up with. All right, now I'm working on these stock wheels, and again, the molding is not good. There's a lot of flash. Alignment of the mold halves doesn't appear to have been as precise as it once was, maybe. So the edges of these rims, they're out of round. Like, there's some sides are wider than the other. So I think what I'm going to try to do is use this fine tip Sharpie and mark around the inside so I know where to sand to on the outside, so that everything looks even, if that makes any sense. See, like, those two don't look too bad, but one of these looks just horribly out of round because of the excess. And there's a few divots right in the edge. Yeah, see, I don't know if you can see that necessarily or not. Around, like, it's flat on some spots and more rounded in others. I'm hoping I can sand that into a better shape without losing too much material. See, now this one is molded really close on one edge. All right, maybe you can see this. See how, yeah, all right. See how around 3/4 of the circumference of that, you can see white plastic around the outside of that black line. But up here, the molding has gone soft and there's not much on the outside of that black line. So I'm hoping I can bring them all into the same shape with some sanding. All right, a little bit of work, and now at least they all look rather uniform in appearance. Oops. Yeah, hopefully you can see that. So that should be better. Still doing a little bit of work on the GTO. I got the engine sprayed with the primer. Looked good. I sanded a few spots. And what we're going to shoot it with, I've got Tamiya's X11 chrome silver. All right. And that's actually going to be like a base coat for the block, because I have a photo reference that shows the block kind of a very light metallic blue, almost a turquoise. And rather than buying a specialty paint just for one block, I'm going to experiment a little bit here. So I've got the chrome silver, and then I've also got X13 metallic blue. And what I'm going to do is, after I shoot the silver, let it dry, I'm going to thin this down quite a bit and then shoot just light coats over it. Hopefully that'll give me the color effect that I'm looking for. Yeah, so that should work. Stick around. So that's where I'm at with the 67 GTO build. I've done a little bit of work on the body, the grill, trying to get that to fit better in the front, and a couple other things. That'll get shown in a future upcoming video. But here's the engine at this point. Let's see if I can get that in there closer to you. So the colors, it's a little too blue for what I was after, but I mean, it's not that bad. It works. I am still gonna add wires to it, get it wired up. The exhaust manifolds will get painted. I don't know, probably a steel, rusty color, perhaps. I don't know. I haven't really decided on that yet, but they will get painted. Yeah. Anyway, it looks better than it did out of the box, for what it's worth. So stick around. More, like I said, is upcoming. We'll continue with this. I'm also working on my airplane beside this. So if you like it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share, comment. I'll see you all in a future video. Thanks.